None. Oops.
Okay, here we go. Don't start my timer, Professor, because I have a lot to say. Now, hey, thanks, guys, for coming today. You know, I hear this a lot. I hate the new songs. These churches, they sing all these new songs these days. They're too shallow. They're too trendy. They're too loud. I can't sing along. There's no history. It's too repetitive, too wordy. And what is with all the O's? People say this all the time. I love you, Jesus. Oh, 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 oh. What is with all those O's? My name is Adam Howard. I've been a worship pastor at a church for 10 years now. It's in the top 3 percentile for size of church. This church is an older church. It's 80 years old. So we've done lots of styles. We've done, we're in a very contemporary styled service right now, but we've sang hymns. We've done some of the first praise choruses like, I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice. We've done all kinds of music, the Vineyard, Clint Brown, Southern Gospel, Old Hillsong, Hillsong United, Hillsong Young and Free. We do a lot of Hillsong. We do all the Hillsong. It's a lot of Hillsong. But today I want to talk to you. My big idea, in fact, is to persuade you that contemporary style music in today's worship is both biblical and it's effective towards reaching people for Christ. Here's what I'm not here to do. I'm not here to persuade you that former styles of music are irrelevant or ineffective. Okay? So relax. But I am here to persuade you to use contemporary music in your worship services. It's effective and it's biblical. Let's look at a study that just came out recently from Barna. It talks about Protestant churches and how they're not using contemporary music in their worship services. Okay? In fact, traditional music, you'll see here, still reigns. You can see the yellow grayed out area that most churches, in fact, don't even use a style of music. But we're going to look at the other ones for right now. Presently, 40% of adults say they attend a service that uses traditional styled music. So we're talking choirs and hymns, organ, things like that. The next most common style, you see there in orange, is blended style. About 12% of churches use this blended where they use the contemporary music, but they mix it with the old. And you'll see there, if my illustration goes back, thank you, 9% of the churches are using just strictly contemporary music. Okay? It's a study from Barna. So let's look at what Scripture says about it. It encourages us a lot, at least 9 times in the Bible, to sing a new song to the Lord. Let's look at a few of them. Psalm 43. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and fear and will trust in the Lord. Psalm 96:1. Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all the earth. Psalm 33:3. Sing to him a new song. Noticing a trend here, I imagine. Play skillfully with a shout of joy. And finally, Psalm 98:1. Oh, sing to the Lord a new song, for he has done wonderful things. His right hand, his holy arm have gained the victory for him. So we can see here, there's certainly, right, a pattern, a directive in Scripture for us to sing new songs written in today's culture in our worship to God. From recent studies that we just looked at in the chart, it was just mentioned, churches, we see though, are not utilizing, you saw those percentages, contemporary music. So what are possible solutions to this? Well, first, in order to have a solution, let's debunk the conflict. I think this is the most important part towards kind of getting in there and trying to solve this dilemma. I think it's so important because you might be surprised to find out, we'll see some statistics, that the quote-unquote worship wars, they are not as dominating as you might think, at least what studies say in order for it. Let's look at a study from Baylor University. It found that the style of music relied upon in service is a matter of high significance to just, look at this, 1/3 of the average church attender. In fact, only 17% said that they would definitely or probably change their attendance pattern if their church altered the music style. That does not sound like a worship war to me. 76% said that they would just go along with the new style, not make any change in their attendance habits. These figures suggest that in spite of controversy surrounding church music, people, by and large, may be more accepting and flexible than we assume. The study did find that there's a segment of adults that most likely will change services in their church attendance rather than accept the music style was primarily based in evangelicals. But we can see a trend here, most of all, with those facts that we're looking at. Look at the bottom one here. 3 out of 10 people, only 3 out of 10 people say that worship music is the most important factor to them. So you see what these studies are kind of pointing to. The conflict is not as much there as we think. So where is the conflict? Is it in millennials? You might be surprised to find that it's not. Thomas Rainer, he's a popular author, he wrote that you will hear millennials speak less and less about worship style. Their focus is on theologically rich music, authenticity, quality that reflects adequate preparation. These are not essential issues to millennials. They don't desire to waste their time hearing Christians fight about these kind of matters. So now we understand how scriptures encourage the new music. We read some together. We've kind of seen by many studies and facts here how inconsequential this idea of different music styles is to attendance and attenders. So what are the benefits of having it besides it being in Scripture? Well, number one, incorporating contemporary music, it diversifies your range of music style offered in worship. 2, it sends a message to millennials that you are more concerned with authenticity and unity than about a certain style of music. That's important to the young generation. And 3, it gives your congregation the opportunity to sing a new song to the Lord. So just a couple final thoughts. Today we talked about debunking the conflict that many suppose is such a large problem in our worship service today. The so-called worship wars really doesn't resonate, we can see now, with the majority of regular attenders. However, the benefits of having contemporary style of music are both effective towards reaching people and biblical. I just want to restate the intention in today's speech. It's not to convince you that any former or other style of music is irrelevant or ineffective. That is not what I'm trying to do here today. My intention is to convince you that contemporary style music has a place in today's worship. So I urge you to serve your congregation a well-balanced diet, diverse, musically styled worship service, one that encourages authentic, unified, and biblically obedient worship. You know, longtime worship pastor of First Assembly in Bettendorf, Iowa, Frank Yazvac, so many of you guys here know him. He says this: a well-blended worship service will ratify your members, it will attract your millennials, and it will glorify God. So in conclusion, I just want to call you to action. I began this speech with some pretty pointed criticism of contemporary music and worship. I'm sure it's familiar and resonated with you. I know it does me whenever I hear it. But I hope the next time you hear things like that you will understand how small and really irrelevant that voice is. Thank you. Thanks, guys.